exercise 39, which saying that draw a conic having an eccentric of 3/4 and focus, which is 30 millimeter from the directrix. Then state the name of this curve. You understand? So we're going to be doing that now. So first thing you're going to do, you're going to draw a center line. Okay, that's a long dash, a small dash, small, long, small, long, small, long. So from any point, just mark any of your points. Okay, let's just come to this side. I'm sorry, let's mark it point O. And from that point O, take your set square, your 60-30 set square. Then draw a straight line. Then draw a straight line. Don't allow it to be too thick, just a faint straight line. So once you have done that, you will take that same 60-30, because the edge of this, if you put it on your T-square, this angle here is what we call angle 60. So we are going to use it. So we're going to use it and divide this points into 2. Like I see, I'm dividing this point into 2. So take your 60 again. From here, make sure it's on the point. Then draw your line. This thing is, draw your line, a straight line. Make sure it's touching the point. So after that, now the reason why I'm drawing a straight line is so we can get the point of which it meets at this place. So remember, they said 38 millimeter of focus. So from that center that you had, you measure 38 millimeter. If you convert to centimeter, that's 3.8 centimeter, right? So from that point, you look for 3.8 centimeter. That should be here. So that's your focus. You can label the focus. No, we're not labeling. That's your focus. So this point is your focus. So now, to be able to get this, the middle point of this thing, the 3/4 of the eccentricity, how are we going to do that? This line now that we drew, we're going to do, no, it said 3/4 eccentricity. So we're going to add 3 plus 4. What's it? You got your calculator, then I said 38 millimeter, then 3/4. So that will be 3 plus 4, which is 7. So you do 38 divided by 7. So that's what? 5.428. 5.428. So this is in millimeter, because remember 30 millimeter. So we're going to change this 5.4 to centimeter. That's divided by 10. So that will be what? 0.54, but approximated to 1 decimal place. That's 0.5. So now you take this your compass, because this one is used for measuring smaller radius. So you roll it up. Then we're going to do 0.5. You bring it here. 0.5. Make sure it's on 0.5. Perfect. So we're going to cut this line how many times? 7 times, because when we added 3 plus 4, that's what? 7 times. So from this point, you cut it 1, 'cause it's done that. I've cut it into 7 equal parts with radius of 0.5. Then we're going to take our set square 60-30. Then we're going to turn it upside down like this, so we can be able to join these points, the last point that is cut, to this tape, that's 3.8 centimeter here. So we're going to do that now. So if it did not join, make sure you check your reading of that 0.5 cutting. I mean, there have been a slight cutting this, because it's meant to meet at this point. So you can see that. So once I've done that, I've gotten our focus area. So now they say, remember it was 3/4 that was given. So we're going to count 3 from this place. That'll be 0, 1, 2, 3. Then from here, that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see that? So we're going to be counting 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. So from here, we're going to draw that same line to anywhere it meets on this line. So from that point, so this point that we just did now, that's where your ellipse is going to be starting from. Do you understand? That means the curve of your ellipse, this is where it's going to be starting from. This point here. So now, without that and that, so now we're going to be doing something now, something very tricky. So you have to pay attention. So now I've gotten this now. What are we going to do? Now that t over 4 that we add, that I said that is the what eccentricity, we're going to be using that. We're going to be using that. So how are we going to be using that? So let's pick a radius. Okay, let me say 38. Let's do 38 divided by 2. That's 19, but let us round it up to 20. So that's the radius of 20. So with that radius of 20, you come, take your compass, you measure the 20. So 20 to centimeter is 2 centimeter. Remember, always divided by 10 because we are dealing with millimeter. But we're going to divide it to change to centimeter. So that's 2 centimeter. So you come to that focus section. What are you going to do now? You mark an arc up and mark an arc down. So how are we going to now be able to get the point on which they start? So what we're going to do is that, remember, they say eccentricity is 3 over 4. So we're going to reverse that 3 over 4. That will be what? 4 over 3. So 4 divided by 3, that's 4 over 3. Then we'll now multiply it times the radius we used to get the point at which the words intersect. So 4 over 3 multiplied by 20. If we do that, that's what? 26.67. That will be, let's round it up to 1 decimal place. That's 26.7. I know, remember 26.7, we're converting it to centimeter. That was 2.7. So on your, take your ruler. From the center, locate 2.7. This is 2.7. Mark it on the line. Now take your set square. If you take your set square and your t-square, let me use t-square instead. So once you have done that, now you can see that it's in this line is cutting this upper radius and the lower radius. So you mark that point where they cut. So you mark it up and mark it down. So that's it. That's how we're going to be doing it. So you actually increase your radius by 2. So now we're going to the next one. The next one is what? 40. Because I increased my radius by 2 times multiplied by 2. So 20 times 2 is what? 40. So we're going to come to 40. So you bring your radius to 40. Confirm that it's on 40. Confirm that it's on 40. Place it on that same focus. Draw an arc up. Draw an arc down. That they have to be too thick. So because I'm still going to like erase some part of it. So now remember 4 over 3 times what? 40. So that's 4 divided by 3 times 40. If we do that, that's what? 53.3. Approximately 5.3 if we change it to what? 2 centimeter. So 5.3. So come to your ruler, mark 5.3. Be your set square. Draw a vertical line, cutting the what? 5.3 line. Up and down. So I've got to your next point. I'm going to do that till we get to the end. So the next one is what? We're using our radius of what? 60. Are you going to be the radius of what? 60. No, I've done 20, 40, now this is 60. So put it on the focus section. Draw an arc. Draw an arc. So now what are we going to do? Take a calculator. 4 divided by 3 times 60. That's 80 on the dot. So 80 to centimeter is what? 8 centimeters straight up. So come to your calculator, to your line, mark point 80. Once you have marked the point, take your 40, your 60, 30 ruler. Make sure it's cut the line. So moving on, we're going to what? 80 next. So come to this place, point out 80. 80. Once you have done that, place it on this point, draw an arc. Draw an arc. So when you have drawn an arc, so what are we going to do now? Take a calculator. 4 divided by 3 times 80. So that's what? 106.7. 106.7. Okay. So 106.7 divided by 10. Let's just do it like that. 106.7 divided by 10. So that's 10.67. That's 10.7. So you measure what? 10.7 on this place. 10.7. So you take your you need to cut the radius here, cut it here. So moving on to the next one, our radius is going to be what? We have done what? 80, now we're going to what? 100. That's 10 centimeter. Remember, I'm multiplying it by 2. But let me just say I'm adding 2 to it. I'm adding 20 millimeter. So from the center, focus, draw an arc again. Draw an arc. Once I've done that, we now come with the calculator, right? Do what? 4 over 3 times 100. What do we get? 133.3. That's 13.3. So bring your ruler and mark 13.3. So this is your 13.3. So this are done with that. So now the next one is what? 120. That's 12. So your 120, drag it to 0, right? You need to get the points. Once I've done that, bring it to the focus. Draw an arc. So now do what? 120, that's 4 over 3 times 120. That's 160, approximately 16 centimeter. So take your ruler, measure 16 centimeter. So you know that, look at now, let's follow me now. So you see that 16 centimeter, it did not cut the arc. So definitely we are going to stop at that what? 120. So bring back your compass and cut that line. So that means your first point is this point here. This is where your eclipse is starting from and it's ending here. So these are the points you are going to be drawing. So take out your French curve. Now I'm going to be connecting those lines together. So you look for the one which it went with the line. Okay. Okay, let me do this first. Procedure actually going to get once you have joined all the lines together. And mind you, some of the lines might not really connect, but just know that you are trying to draw an ellipse. So now they say that determine this is states the name of the curve. So this is an ellipse, right? Based on what I've done. So your topic is going to be ellipse. So that's the topic and the title for this particular drawing. Thank you.